Hi guys, good day. And today I'll be sharing with you my drawing video for this Optimus Prime bust that I did a few days ago using the Winsor and Newton Brushmarkers that me and my wife decided to pick up during one of our semi-regular trips to the art supply store. Now, this is actually the second one that I did as I messed up really bad the first one. So, I really am a noob at using these markers. This being just my second attempt, but hey, it's fun, it's relaxing, so I think I'll be working with them for quite a bit more in the future. Okay, so while I'm drawing this, I think I'd like to share with you guys my sort of story as to why and how I collect Transformers. Okay, so to be quite honest, I do not recall much of the G1 Transformers cartoon, except for a few episodes here and there. But I do recall watching quite extensively the movie where Prime died. Now, me and my brother, along with our cousins, watched the VHS that we borrowed from our neighbor, and it was a new thing for us. It was actually very devastating as a kid, but it was new, and it introduced us to other characters that we only saw in the catalogs of the Transformers toys that we got from our aunt in the US. This was in the early 90s, I think, and back then I had a Pretender Splashdown. I still have that guy sans the accessories, but it's there at home. And I cherish that toy a lot. Now, it being my one and only original Transformers at that time. Now, Transformers were really, really expensive then, and I remember ogling at shelves in the 80s and the early 90s and not being able to go and buy any of them because we never had that much money for toys, okay? So, just different. We had G.I. Joe money for the actual figures. Figures only, no vehicles. Not Transformers money back then. I can vividly recall seeing the large boxes for Fort Max and the boxes for the headmasters and not being able to get one. But I was a relatively good kid. I like to think that I was. And so I was happy with my Joes and Splashdown. So high school. Now, my mom gave me a lot of GoBots though, and I feel bad about not taking care of those guys as a kid, but I knew that I had one guy that turned into a sub, that one that turned into a dive bomber, a yellow truck, a police car, and that green scorpion. I don't know their names now, but I do recall them having die-cast parts. They were very small, I think maybe 3 inches, the size of a Legends figure. I'm not sure, but they were cool, okay? And they passed as Transformers for me, so yeah. Growing up, I was fine. Now, my brother had an original Leader 1 figure that I destroyed when I made it fly from off our stairs. And I think he also had a knockoff of the first Optimus Prime, but I know that it was a knockoff because it only had a cardboard trailer that I used to play with when he was in school along with his other toys. But it was nice, okay? So, there. Now, my aunt sent all of us Transformers from the US then. And like I said, I got Splashdown. My brother got Road Grabber, and my cousins had Hunger, Snaptrap, and Pretender's Finback. None of us, I believe, ever had Transformers after that. And other than that knockoff Afterburner and Nose Cone that came out in the early 90s because, well, Scramble City was big then, I never had another one except, again, wow, I have so many exemptions. Well, except this two sets that I had during one of my birthdays. I remember my mom taking a leave from work and bringing me to a local department store, and I got Micromasters, the Autobot race car team, and the oh so wrongfully named Micromaster Erector, which got trashed rather quickly. The main figure snapped in half, and we weren't really able to fix it. We tried everything. But I don't know, for some weird reason, Super glue and epoxy just wouldn't work on him. Maybe because he was too small. And that part was really, really fragile. But I love that yellow crane truck. Anyway, I did not buy any toys from high school until I think second year college. But then that was when I started collecting Gundam. So no Transformers yet. But then the Dreamwave comics came out, and I remember seeing the movie style posters for the very first time and feeling oh so nostalgic for the toys that I only saw in catalogs. And the very few episodes of G1 that I actually watched, and deciding that I'd have to get those comics. So even if it meant that most of the money that I was earning from ghostwriting would go to my comic book fund, I still decided to get them. Now, still at this point, I wasn't buying any of the toys. I was more into comics then. So fast forward to 2007, and I bought a Generations Bumblebee and Hot Rod because they were on sale here. They were like 50 off. Then Transformers Animated came out. I initially hated the designs when my office mate showed them to me, but I was floored when I saw the first few prototypes online. I could not believe that it was possible to design toys this way. And when I saw Grimlock, I knew that I had to get him. That was a wrong move for me because I eventually decided that I needed the other Dinobots, so I ordered Swoop online because he wasn't available here yet. And then I bought Snarl, and before I knew it, I was buying off almost all the generation and animated line that I could find that was on sale. Now, this was because the movie toys were coming out, and also because I told myself that the only way that I can control this spending habit on toys is that I should have a rule. And my rule was that I'd only be getting toys that are either on sale or were secondhand. But because I wanted to get as much from my limited budget, okay? So, limited as it was though, the habit stuck. And the last time I counted, I had I think about 103 Transformers. But that was before I got married, and I've gotten quite a few. Well, actually, quite a bit after getting married. So I really haven't lost. I really don't know how much I have right now. And anyway, I'm not a completist, so I only get the toys that I like. So I do not really have a complete line of anything. The closest I think is with Transformers Animated, but I think I have more than 10 figures that I'm still looking for, or am trying to decide if I should get them or not. Anyway, since the rule that I imposed then, I tend to have a lot more of the older set. Like, I'm always a year late because these toys tend to go on sale as a new line comes in. So it's hunting season when they go on sale. I got a lot of Generations this way, and I was actually surprised that they had them at 40 off less than a year when they were released. So yeah. I've actually haven't bought any of the Combiner Wars figures because I'm waiting for the price to go down, and I sure will be getting some of the Combiners this year. Well, that is if they go down to a level that I'm happy with. Anyway, you see, I really do not care about having the latest toys. Just as long as I get what I feel I need for my collection, I'm fine. And I'm actually quite patient, so I can always afford to wait. And I'm not that much affected when I'm not able to get any of the figures that I want, like the old Generations Inferno that I forgot to snag while it was on sale, or Jetfire, or even animated Black Arachne and Waspinator, because I held off on buying them for far too long. I guess it's not that much of a problem for me. I could just go and hunt them down the line. I could pay a premium if they become rare, but so far I haven't encountered that with all of the secondhand figures that I bought, so I think I'm cool. One exception though is Titan's Return. I broke that sale rule when Titan's Return came out. There's just something about head turning into pilots that appealed to me so much that I decided to go and buy retail and online this time. Well, I'm really cheap when it comes to my collection, but man, this is just something I can't pass. So I know that I'll be getting a couple more in the next few days, but I've already started hunting online for good deals. So, yeah. I hope the rule still sticks. Okay, so anyway, so what do I get from collecting? I've been labeled as immature before because of this, but to be honest, it doesn't affect me that much because I've always believed that hobbies are important for a sane life. Now, my parents encouraged me to do this, and when I was starting to amass quite a number of TFs, my mom asked me to never sell nor give my toys to my kids because she likes the idea that I'm keeping them for nostalgia. When I left home last October, when I got married, Manay even asked me to leave some of my toys behind so that they have stuff to look at. Now, it has influenced my career so much, and I've honestly been able to get some projects because of my love for Transformers. Now, I'm still hoping to get a real IDW gig, but while I'm very eager, I'm also very willing to wait, so I guess I'm okay. Now, going back, so what do I get from it? As corny as it sounds, well, it moves me. It helps me focus on work that I need to do, and they're actually quite inspiring, and I buy toys to reward myself for work that I've done. Now, I'm not a rabid collector though, and I only get stuff either on schedule or when I feel that I deserve it. I mean, other people would go out and dance, play video games, or get drunk. Me, I read a bit and buy toys, okay? So, I also use them for reference for some of the work that I do, and I often get ideas for my illustrations by messing around with the toys that I have. I wouldn't go as far as saying that my sanity depended on buying toys or building kits, but I'd say that my life would be a whole lot duller and I'd be a totally different person if not for Transformers and the toys that I collect. So, yeah, do get a hobby, and toy collecting is really a good one. So, I mean, as long as you keep everything under budget and make sure that you have the space to keep them, okay? So, go buy toys. Anyway, so there. Thanks, guys, and God bless.